Good morning, Bayelsa, Nigeria. You're tuning to 97.5 Golden FM, and this is your prime morning public affairs program. Let's talk Nigeria. I am Moya Steving. All right, the platform where, of course, we dissect policies, question decisions, analyze national developments, and make sense of the issues that shape our everyday lives. Ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion centers on a decision that has rekindled conversation across the country, triggered political reactions, and raised both expectations and concerns. We're looking at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nomination of General Christopher Musa, retired, as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense. And also, we're looking at the United States lawmakers being urged to pressure the Nigerian government to abolish Sharia law in northern states and disband Hizbah religious enforcement. Now, in a country battling complex and evolving security challenges, from insurgency in the northeast to banditry in the northwest, kidnapping in the north central, oil theft in the Niger Delta, piracy in the Gulf of Guinea, and rising urban crime, the Ministry of Justice is not just about cabinet portfolio. It is the heartbeat of Nigeria's survival, stability, and sovereignty. The person who occupies that office influences the direction of military operations, security strategy, coordination, and the overall confidence of the Nigerian populace. General Christopher Musa is no stranger to the theater of war leadership. Is this appointment a fresh solution or simply recycling the same actors within a system that needs deeper reform? Can General Musa transition smoothly from uniformed command to civilian administration, policy formulation, and interagency coordination, three areas that require a different leadership style from battlefield command?
And one thing I want to look at is,
Let's Talk Nigeria. We are putting all of these issues on the table, and we are asking the big question: is is President Tinubu's nomination of General Christopher Musa as Minister of Defense a good move for Nigeria? 2, should the Nigerian government bow to the pressure of the United States to abolish Sharia law in northern states and disband Hizbah religious enforcement groups, which the U.S. claims are structures that are contributing to systematic anti-Christian persecution? As always, this program remains the People's Platform, your platform. We want to hear from you, our listeners across Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, the creeks and islands, everywhere, the mainland, and all of Nigeria. You can join us live on Facebook right now, 97.5 Golden FM, and watch the program. Does this appointment inspire hope? Or are the U.S. lawmakers going to succeed in pressuring the Nigerian government? Do you believe a battle-tested military leader is exactly what the defense ministry needs right now? Or do we need broader structural reforms rather than simply changing personnel? Stay with us as we break it all down here. The facts, the controversies, the expectations, and the possible implications for national security. Because this is Let's Talk Nigeria. Paul, this is a critical moment in Nigeria. You know, just the other day, Badaro resigned, resigned his appointment, and the president said, well, I welcome this resignation. Thank you very much, since you said it's on held grounds. And immediately the president went into action. Even yesterday, we discussed it and say, oh, come on, we should appoint someone really, really, really competent. All right. So our guest yesterday, Henry Bassi, spoke extensively on it and urged the president to appoint someone competent. And we were told that General Christopher Musa, retired, visited the president at the Aso Rock to discuss issues, although what they discussed was not made public. And all of a sudden, he has been nominated. So that visit was about this. Interesting. And a lot of people feel that this is a very competent person since he's been a commander. But now it's another issue. Civilian and command. How's it going to balance both aspects? That's the major problem. Not the problem, but the major challenge.
No, it's going to do it because he already knows his security architecture And being the fact that he was the chief of defense staff, chief of defense staff happened to be the highest ranking personnel, military personnel in Nigeria at the time, although under the civilian rule, and he understands everything, and he knows all the service chiefs were under him. That the chief of army staff, chief of air staff, chief of naval staff, and reporting to him directly. And so now he understands everything that has to do with the military architecture. So now morphing into being a civilian retired, he now has to, okay, I'm the here. It's still one of the things you also find out that when it comes to battle and things like this, you have to do you command the respect of the soldiers on ground. He commands
When it comes to
that.
report to you.
Yes, he commands that, and so he already has a respect. He's earned it because that is where his status has gotten to. So there will be this time around. There's going to be proper synergy, So the Minister of Defense is political appointment, political appointee. I said the person, Badaro, will happen to be a governor, two-time governor of Jigawa State. And I'm sure it was on the basis of maybe he has been able to tackle insecurity in his state. That's why the nomination came forth at the time. Even the Minister of State, Matawali, also being a one-time governor too. That's why you see both of them were put as a minister and the Minister of State. But now the man, the General Musa, retired, and he already is on this side. So he will be able to bring everything like a merger, bring everything together, the ideas, and let's work together because going forward we would need people that understand the ropes and can have that respect and share ideas, share everything. Prior to this time, is the permanent secretaries are already perm sec for all the ministries. Those ones they are not going, no leave, no transfer. They are there, so that the ones like the engine room. But the minister comes to what's going on, what are we supposed to do, and things like that. But this one, he knows what's going on.
But this was someone, people said that he was removed as a result of that alleged coup, which the federal government denied that there was nothing like that, and that's why the service chiefs at the time were dropped. And all of a sudden, so this actually dispels what the federal government stood at the time, that there was nothing like that, and no one was suspected for anything. And so, for General Musa to return, it means the federal government actually really meant what they were saying at the time, that when it dispelled that there was nothing like a coup plan.
That practically is a pointer to it, because if there was a coup, and if they felt that he and alongside the service chiefs were allegedly incompetent, they would not be. His name will not still come back to the radar. You understand? So you could see people were even tipping. They've also bringing to the fore. They're pushing him. They're pushing General Rabo, retired too, one-time chief of defense staff. So okay, what's going on? Because if you have civilians or former governors might not be able to. But let's see if these guys that were the chief of defense staff, if they, of course, they know the onions, they know the garlic, and they will separate toothpick from chewing steak. They have to do the things. That's on that. So on that basis, the fact that also that the president invited him, had a chat and everything. Okay, let's see how we can work this thing together. And he was willing, because if he wasn't willing, they would not have sent his name as a nominee. So
he has a lot of work, administrative work to do, to interface with the military, the chief of defense staff, and of course the administrative part of it, which is the Minister of Defense thing. So I think it's going to be easy for him to interface and talk and find a way to come to a conclusion, because we are in a very dire situation in the country. But just for our listeners, just to let you know who General Musa is. Of course, a lot of people know him, but for the purpose of the program, he is a seasoned and battle-tested military officer who is widely recognized for his experience as a former chief of defense staff. And his tenure in the military spanned critical operational years, particularly in the fight against Boko Haram and ISWAP in the northeast. His supporters highlight his operational knowledge, discipline, and deep understanding of Nigeria's security terrain. And they argue that in a period of escalating threats, a man who has been in the trenches and understands Nigeria's security architecture from the inside may be exactly what the defense ministry needs, and that's why he was appointed. And one of the strongest arguments in favor of General Musa's nomination is the practical advantage of experience, which you talked about.
Yeah.
Nigeria's insecurity has often been worsened by disconnects between policymakers and the field commanders. Exactly what I was saying. He's now from a commander. Now he is now in the administrative point. policy making side now. So now there is a disconnect before now, according to some who argue this. But now that he has been a commander before and now he is going to be on the part of policymakers, then because of his experience on the field, he's going to bring that, or he's going to fix the disconnect and connect both sides. Having someone who has been at the heart of operational command may bridge this gap, and that's where Christopher Musa becomes very, very important. Now, Musa understands troop morale issues, logistical challenges, intelligence failures, coordination gaps, and the limitations of interagency collaboration. So his experience in joint operation, particularly Operation Handing Kai in the Northeast, means he has first-hand knowledge of the dynamics of terrorism and asymmetric warfare if effectively used. And this experience can provide clarity, speed up reforms and enhance strategic decision making. So a lot of people think that the president did the right thing to have appointed Christopher Musa.
Yeah, okay. I think for now he's been nominated. I think he's supposed to face the Senate
Today.
Today, it's like you said. One of the things you find out is, I think I give respect to him because even at the CDS, while if his last parade that he had last parade and everything, you could see that the soldiers were really motivated, especially people that have been in operations in the north. He's done his tour there. He knows it. He understands it. Sometimes just the way you see for other countries and other nations, you see where people, example, when you have a president that has been in the war, been in the battle, he understands what the people need. You understand concerning logistics, you understand concerning supply, you understand concerning the morale of the people, you understand about welfare and all of these different things. He can speak to that aspect, because if you have a demoralized military, there's going to be a problem. If your defense, practically, that is, of course, you're looking at the interface between the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Navy, the DSS, the NSCDC, and every other thing, even including you'll be interfacing with the National Security Advisor to the President. All of these different persons, he knows, he understands. I remember when the NSA, Noel Radu was being nominated, and some persons were clamoring and no, he was a policeman. How do you think other people were going to be attending to him? No, he understands. Even if he was in the police, he understands this thing. So I think there will be better coordination. First things first, he earns respect. Like they say, if you're like a coach, if you earn the respect of your locker room, you will do well. For me, General Musa already earns the respect. The service chiefs presently, including the CDS,
So
all his juniors.
how are you going to address him now? Because right now he's a civilian, so we'll call it General Musa again. Because when the president, former president, was there, they weren't calling him General Muhammadu Buhari. They were calling him President Muhammadu Buhari.
It's because of the presidency, because he was a president.
So you're going to call him Mr. General Musa?
Even now, even now, because he's the former president, he say, okay, former president Olusegun Obasanjo, but it is former president General Olusegun Aremu Obasanjo, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, then they put retired.
Retired.
But because the person that got into the pinnacle from the moment you've got into the brigadier general or even the colonel, even if you retired, they say colonel retired.
Okay, they put it there.
That's there.
So, but let's look at it politically. President Tinubu's decision, I tell you, Paul, may signal a desire for continuity in military strategy because, to have appointed a retired general back to the civil service, I think the president really wants some kind of military strategy in this whole thing. So even if you're dealing from the administrative or from the policy-making angle, you want to look at someone who's going to look at it from the military strategy point of view. So with constant evolution of security threats, I think what the president actually wanted is someone who can bring in that military knowledge into administration.
The fact that you're a CDS, you understand, the CDS is a good administrator for all of the defense that you had. That is for Army, Navy, and the Air Force. So he already is. He knows the rope. You understand? You could call him a technocrat in the military affairs.
And besides, he's in the Ministry of Defense, so you need someone who... I don't know why this has not been the case right from the beginning. Why would they... Since that's the Ministry of Defense, you need somebody who has a technical know-how to be in there.
But also, like I said, in other climes too, there are different cases of different persons that were brought into the Ministry of Defense that do not have an idea of what it is.
Because that's exactly what the American government did right now. Pete Hegseth was once in the war,
So
and now he brought him as a Secretary of Defense.
That is,
Secretary of
if you
Defense.
understand what
Yeah.
if you understand what Donald Trump did, President Donald Trump did. I think his first tenure, he just did okay. Let's do those that the party guys
Yeah.
and everything.
But he was criticized for appointing Pete Hegseth.
But do you know why it was criticized? Because Pete did Pete had to stop the issues concerning you having in the military you had people that transgender and they were celebrated. You now have people come for it was as though the military became like a symbol of laughter. That you don't do that.
And
you know?
American communities can't condone that.
You can't because there's a particular person that even went for some rounds in Iraq and Afghanistan, and one of wonderful was a jet fighter pilot, and everything as a man. Then
I think it was dismissed.
he transgendered into a woman and suddenly now celebrated and all of the different things. All of some things are not.
I guess it was dismissed at the time.
Yes,
he
you know,
was,
the moment Pete came on board, and so they already knew because the Biden administration gave them the leeway.
Exactly.
Of course, don't worry. You could see some of them could dress in skirts and just do some things, but nah, this is the military. You don't do it. So it's just two. You're either a male or a female. That's all. There's no need for the pronouns and things. So because he was coming, that's why they were all screaming and no. But the people that genuinely said this was okay. And another thing that Pete was so Pete said that there was no room for women in war front. He knew what he was saying, but some persons were like, "Why are you doing that? Like, why are you discriminating among them?" We said, "No, I understand for the sake of strength and endurance all through the way. You're carrying your haversack. The haversack has a lot of power, everything all put together, and you're sometimes moving for miles and things. How many of them can be able to withstand? You need them as nurses. You need them for this, but so not too tedious thing. And there were specific reasons. But one thing that President Donald Trump has done is let me get the right person to fix this.
And
thing
someone who had experienced war.
Experience. That's why he will change it. He not change it to the Ministry of War. That's why he said it was
Department of War.
He said it was Department of War. So, okay, Abiala, according to the Igbo guys, they are better. But I think I have to give it to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu because
for doing that.
For the fact that just 2 weeks ago he declared concerning the state of emergency.
The national emergency
security
emergency.
Security emergency. It was something very, very important. It was needed, and if you want to do it, you do not play. You just let's get this thing done, and because why? Is his name also is on the line.
Absolutely. The security situation is rising, and he had to do something quickly for us to come up with different policies to tackle this, interface with the military and see how this can be fixed. But let's look at the other side of the conversation, where the United States lawmakers have been urged to pressure. Now, that word, I am so concerned in particular about that word, pressure the Nigerian government to abolish Sharia law in northern states and disband Hizbah religious enforcement groups. They warned that both structures, that's the Sharia law and the Hizbah religious enforcement groups, are structures that are contributing to systematic anti-Christian persecution. And they made a call yesterday during a joint hearing of U.S. congressional committees reviewing Nigeria's security and human rights situation following President Donald Trump's recent redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Paul, the U.S. lawmakers, the United States is not resting on this matter. Concerning Nigeria, they are working really hard, assiduously, to see how they could, stop the terror unleashed on Nigerians, especially on Christians in Nigeria. But that fueled the conversation at the U.S. Congress, the Capitol Hill, and of course, right now, we're talking about pressuring the Nigerian government. So the question now to Nigerians is that: do you see the Nigerian government um, succumbing to the U.S. pressure? That's the major question here.
Uh,
To ban Sharia law in the northern states, is that possible? Can that ever happen?
okay. Firstly, let's just reel out the states that have Sharia laws. You have Zamfara State, you have Kano State, you have Sokoto State, you have Kastina, you have KB, you have Bauchi, you have Borno, you have Jigawa, you have Yobe, you have Gombe, you have Niger State, you have Kaduna State, and these are the 12 northern states with Sharia law plus, in many cases, plus also the Hizbah practice. And but also for something of note, Sharia in these states primarily applies to Muslims, though non-Muslims are generally subject to civil or common law. But another thing again, you also find out is that the implementation vary. The laws are there.
So it's different in Kaduna,
So you understand?
different in
Yeah.
Kano, the
So
way it is.
so you know so
Which of the states is more severe,
so
kind of?
Sharia applies strictly and includes some of the things like, okay, let me say
I think Sokoto State.
the presence of Hizbah also varies by state. In largest states like Kano and Zamfara, Hizbah is formally organized. They're very, very, very much organized and active. Why some states it's not too clear. Why why the United States how House is even looking at that light is the fact that when you see, like you mentioned, when you see the Boko Haram, you see the ISWAP and all the other entities, they have sworn allegiance to Al Qaeda and ISIS. And ISIS and Al Qaeda, even the Taliban, what they do,
The extremist groups.
the extremist group, but they ride on the Sharia law. So
Yeah.
yes, it's a Sharia law that they practice, so they get to enforce these things. You see that even remember that even when the moment America was leaving Afghanistan, it was because the Taliban were coming during the Biden administration, and the moment they came, the Taliban got into power and everything. They began to systematically. I'm trying to.
Dismantle.
There is a tenets of the Sharia. So that's why if Sharia is there strong, his bar also comes along. That means they're going to be enforcing your dress codes. Women are also be driving and some other things. So some of these, so those are things that the ideologies of the ISIS and Al Qaeda and these guys presently in this are sworn. They've sworn allegiance to them. But now, even if you have states whereby, example, Kaduna State, in Kaduna,
That you have both
Christians and Muslims.
Yeah,
In, you know, the Kaduna, you have Southern Kaduna.
So
That
how
is-
can you enforce that in that state?
That's the issue, you know. Even during the time, I think even during the time of the former governor of Kaduna, Malam Nasser El Rufai, I think that's where people began to allegedly like, this is you're not supposed to be. We are don't do this to us, and he started the Muslim ticket thingy. He started it.
To emphasize the fact that it's a Muslim state or something like that?
Do you understand?
Could that
So
be it?
for him, it was just his political ideology, and it is causing issues. So some of these things that you were seeing, it's the political will because some of them, the leaders that enter there, they okay, it's fine. Let's just do some things. I have a friend, person that is in Gombe, The governor allegedly said the governor is Muslim. That's things you see where development is even happening. Development can happen in the Muslim side of it. But the Christian area of it, sometimes they're like, don't worry, these people, and it's not even coming there. So those are the different things. So the Sharia and the Hizbah is going to be bringing something, but that I am staying there, I'm not according to your. Normally, if I'm a Christian, I'm not supposed to be bound by Sharia. But when these people begin to come first, there's something called the blanket.
So everybody
operation.
becomes.
So the blanket operation, sometimes it happens, with dress codes, how you dress, how you do something. So now, especially like example in Kano, in Sokoto, in Zamfara, how do you just say that, okay, I'm a Christian, so but I'm not supposed to be doing this? So some of them, in trying to be very, very, the Hizbat, in trying to carry out their acts or to enforce these things, go beyond. That's where the issue comes.
Big time, big problem.
So because they go beyond the dictates or what they're supposed to be doing, first things first, you ask the person, are you Christian or Muslim? Muslimine or Christian? You ask, you find out. If the person is Christian, this thing doesn't concern you. If the person is breaking the law, let it be according to the criminal code, the normal thing. But if the person is Muslim, is coming to this.
But right now, they judge, and they judge you by that
See,
law, whether you're a Christian or not.
So some of them,
as long as you're living in that environment.
I said some of them are. I want to use to the way there's a word I'm looking for. You know, they have zeal, but with zeal you have to put knowledge to it. So they have to, not that zeal. I want to enforce. No, find out these details. So because some of them have done the wrong things over time, that's where people have complained. That's why it's come up like that.
Oh my world. So it's now your time to contribute. There are two conversations. You already know the conversations. The appointment of retired General Christopher Musa. The nomination of retired General Christopher Musa as the Minister of Defense, and the issue of the United States lawmakers trying to pressure the Nigerian government to abolish Sharia law and disband Hizbah religious enforcement in northern states. These are the two matters on ground. If you want to contribute to the conversation, you know what to do. 0707 747 1522 0912 000 1975. Now, we've done our own little, so it's your time now. 60 seconds. Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to
you. My name remains Owei, calling from Sabagria. You know, previously I've said this before. I think the appointment of Christopher Musa is a very, very, I think, a welcome idea. It's very, I believe they will, he as a immediate past chief of defense staff, he will work hand in hand with his colleagues. And moreover, when you look at the hierarchy of even the military, he seniors them. Because once a general is always a general, he seniors them. So that chain of command will be there in the military to do the necessary job. I think I commend the president for appointing him. Because civilians hardly work amicably or unity with the military. Because when the military will be taking action, civilians will be say, oh no. He say, all right, the action are taking is too much. Being somebody who has been there before, the civilians, the military doesn't work together. Then in terms of this Sharia issue, my brother, I don't think it will work. It won't. I don't think that one will work. The idea of United States to come and say they should abolish Sharia law. That is my own personal observation and opinion. I don't think it will work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Away. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes. My name is Last Bullet, calling from Uruma Ibama community.
Okay, Last Bullet. Please go ahead.
Yeah, any that not listen to Golden FM, no. That day will not even cool down with me.
Thanks for the kind words.
Thank you.
From 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock, I will be there with people.
Bam.
Yes, let me go straight to the point. This Sharia law issue, is it the Nigerian government approve it to them, or only them that decide to have their own court in this country? We are operating one government, Nigerian alone, one Nigeria, not two Nigeria. But they always speak this language. That the Northerners always said they are born to rule. Is it because of all these proud words that they are saying? They are saying that they have to get their own law. The Senate did not approve this law to them, this court to them. Let them abolish it because they cannot be operating on their own. That is one of the reasons that people try to agitate for their own issues too. So I pray, let this issue abolished. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, before you go, Last Bullet, this question for you. Do you think the Nigerian government will bow to the American pressure?
Personally, I support the American government. What they are saying, let Nigeria should abolish the Sharia law in this country. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. Let's get to hear another one. Hello, good morning.
Cool to you guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Joshua calling from Mountain of Fire area, Okaka. You see, the situation of Nigeria is so peculiar. Sometimes I look at the budget. Trillions of naira is budgeted for defense. Yet, on the road, as you see the military guys, it is masking tape that they use to sellotape their guns. And then you look at the bandits, see shining AK-47 rifles. You ask yourself, I ask myself, how come? Number two, no matter how you bring the best in Nigeria, if the system does not allow that flow of say, yes, genuinely we are going after these guys, it will not work. It can never work. I've seen brigadiers, I've seen generals that were either sacked or retired confessing. One said, I think he led and captured one of the leaders of the terrorists. Instead of maybe praising and promoting him, they detained him. That is the level we have gotten into. How can it work? Unless the government from the head is sincere. A list was given to Nigeria by another country. Has the Nigerian government gone after these people? So, okay, let us investigate these people that they say are financing these criminals. Nothing has been done. What do you expect of the retired general? If he goes there and he gives orders, and then people who are financing big men, top these things like that are thwarting his efforts, will it work? I doubt if it will work. Honestly, I doubt. The man is a good man. I even watched a video where Very Dark Man released some certain things. This man called Very Dark Man to get more information from Very Dark Man. Even though Very Dark Man abused him and said all sorts of things, he came down low to get vital information from Very Dark Man. Has he been allowed to put his plan in action? My brother, it's a long way and there are so many questions to ask and so many answers to give. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. I would have wished you give your own perspective on the issue of whether Nigerian government would bow to the pressure of the United States. But don't worry, you probably will call back.
What should be told is the fact that the constitutional amendment, the parts of the constitution that is section 275 to 279,
Okay.
260 to 264 allows state to have Sharia courts of appeal.
Courts of appeal.
Yes.
So that means Nigerian government might not want to pay attention to the U.S. government.
It's in the constitution.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. Yes, good morning. I'm Mr. Felix from Ofolo.
Okay, please go ahead.
Good morning.
Yes, this present Musa defense minister, Musa that has been appointed as a defense minister, and some people commending him and commending. He should truly know who is really going to fight. See, nothing will still come out of this appointment being given to this Musa. Now, Nigeria will do. Let them don't deceive anybody. Let them don't deceive anybody. This man alone can do nothing. Just because of the pressure on the government, the president, and maybe he sees and maybe he just wants to use this man to cover up. Federal government knows what they are doing with these terrorists. Somebody said, look at their guns, then look at the guns being given to the Nigerian military. We are compromising with these people. It is getting out of hand in this country. It is getting out of hand in this country. This compromise and this, see, I will continue to cast my blame on federal government. They know what they are doing with these people. They know where they are, and they know each other. It's an internal body that will come and intervene, if not. All this what we are doing, we have not even started. I mean, I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust any uniform man. Even in this South, I don't trust any uniform man again because they have mixed up, they have spread around certain places which it has been kept secret. They know what they are doing. May God help us in this country. May God help us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 0707-747-1522 and 0912-000-1975. Hello.
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 Yeah, Dr. Muye, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Na Caroline they come back again. Nigeria wahala no go ever finish. Well, as for me, just like we see my brother Oga Felix talk, this appointment where they give the new chief of defense staff, he no go anywhere. He no go anywhere. Person make comment yesterday, answer your question. There is one popular pastor now for social media where they say talk about the notorious bandits where they catch for the vice president as Kashi Shettima, be wetin they call him. Notorious bandits, notorious criminal where they catch for Shettima house. What is be the comment?
Okay. Caroline. Let me correct
Yeah.
that. Let me correct that. It was not found in his house. He was found in the premises. He wanted to go and bomb. When he wanted to go and bomb the house of the vice president, presently he was the governor. It was the governor of his state. So he was going to go and carry out a terrorist act in his house. That was when they found the man there. He was the idea that even it was his house in Abuja, his residence in Abuja.
So the narrative always been like
It has
housed him, he
it
kept
has
him.
always been, but the truth of the matter is this is what occurred.
Okay.
So the truth has to be
then
yes.
My contribution, the only solution we have right now is the U.S. to come and assist us. That is the only challenge we are having. That is the way that terrorism will stop in Nigeria, because if we rely on our federal government to stop terrorism in this country, it will never work, because they are part of the bandits, they are part of the terrorists, they are the ones sponsoring this Boko Haram of a thing. So if we rely on our leader, Boko Haram will never stop. We should not deceive ourselves. The only help we need now is the Donald Trump to come and help us. That is the only problem. That is the way that terrorism will stop in Nigeria. We should not deceive ourselves.
All right, so Caroline, thank you very much. But we have to quickly mention that when you say they are part of it, they are part of it. You know, you can't really provide evidence to that fact that the government is part of it. These are all assumptions until there is an evidence to prove that or to show that. So here on Golden FM, we try to work with facts. And as long as you are unable to present facts, you're only working on assumptions, well, that is your opinion, and we would not be identified with that anyway. But thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that. We lost that. Call back. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yeah,
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning
It's
to you.
Tony. I'm calling from Manopa.
Welcome, Tony.
My brother, thank you. The appointment of our chief of defense, Christopher, it's a good appointment. I believe there's no government, there's no father to allow people to kill them. One of them, come and call their name. They're Nigerians. That's a foreigner. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. You know, one of the things, like we said, we appreciate the fact that the Northerners have come out, because they say is see that wears the shoes knows where it pinches, and they have to come out. And also let us know that the list, the federal government released a list, though for individuals and also entities or organizations that are sponsors. So they released a list. It happened this week early. But some other persons had released that list 2024.
So we're waiting for this. Maybe the defense minister will be able to release it.
No, the list is.
No, I mean
public
the
body.
names. The names.
The names are there.
So public for
Yes,
public knowledge.
From I saw the list.
You saw someone you know?
I might I know what you're doing.
Let's hear.
You know,
Hello, good morning.
interesting.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you speak up a little bit, please? Can you speak up? We can't really hear you. Can you?
Okay, I'm Mr. David. Mr. David.
Okay, David.
yes.
Better now. Better.
Okay. See, let's be today analysis. It's like there is something wrong with it. Like whether the government or should support it for her. Sincerely, when you are practicing Sharia law in this country, hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, you are practicing Sharia law in this country, and when some group is imposed sit at home on Monday, sit at home, you are complaining, and some people are practicing full Sharia law that has instituted court with judges sitting on them. And you are not complaining about that one. But if somebody declare a day in another region, you are complaining about that one. How is that one? Is that one fair? Hello?
Okay,
So,
let me
Well,
hold on. Let me explain. I did an explanation, because they're talking about Sharia law, but the first things first. Is it legal?
yeah, I think
See, firstly, to genuinely abolish Sharia or Hizb's legal authority, several major steps would have to be taken. But you must understand, as he said, constitutional amendment, because
great.
it
Those who worked on the Constitution,
they already knew.
they were so smart
they knew these
to
things.
include it.
It's
And
there.
that's why we keep saying that our Constitution is faulty, because not the whole of Nigeria came together to put that together. It's
that's the
faulty.
thing. It is
It's a few persons just
so
wrote that.
allowed they put that caveat there so that there will be a space for religious
Yeah.
laws to be established. That's why you have it. So they are within the purview. They are within the purview of the right, because according to what you have in sections 275 to 279, 260 to 264, that allow states to have Sharia courts of appeal and by extension permit Sharia-based criminal codes, you will need firstly to repeal them or amend them.
So now, Paul, now look at it from this angle. Since the United States lawmakers have been asked to pressure the Nigerian government, this section in the Constitution would have to be revisited. That is exactly what the U.S. lawmakers want, and that's the question we are asking: Is this possible?
Do not forget. Okay, let me.
Is this possible?
Let me also.
You know, the amendment is ongoing right now.
But did anybody bring up this aspect
No,
of it?
but now that the U.S. government has actually brought it up, don't you think that since the amendment is ongoing, something has to be done quickly?
It's going to. One thing for sure is the fact that you are sure. I just read out 12 states, 12 northern states that are already practicing Sharia, and out of these 12 states, you have people that have a huge number of Christian community within them, anchored within them. You have Gombe. You also have Nes- you also have
Bauchi.
You have Bauchi. You also not forgetting Kaduna, but practically because of the things it is an ideology. They're already aligned to it. So the Muslims going to be okay. You want to come against our own religion? It is a religious court that is religious law that is binding by the Constitution.
So it allows the states to practice now.
It allows to practice. Question is, the sit at home, is it in the Constitution?
Okay, now
So
Paul,
that's where it is, just to make a balance.
okay, so in conclusion, what we're looking at is that for this case about the United States pressuring Nigerian government, there are sections in the Constitution that allow states to practice the Sharia law.
Yep.
And for me, what I think, since the amendment is ongoing, it's in the process. No one raised this issue before. But thank God the amendment had not been concluded. The review is still ongoing. It's an ongoing process. And this matter is on board. So those who are pushing for this should now speak to the National Assembly, right, and the state assemblies to see how this section of the Constitution can be amended. Now, the question now is, will the Nigerian government be pressured to amend or to review this section of that's the question we've been asking, and Nigerians have not been able to answer. A few of them have answered that that's not possible. you know, right? And the states where these things are practiced, are you sure they will allow the lawmakers, Nigerian lawmakers, to review this section of the Constitution? It's another matter altogether.
Because if they review it, sincerely speaking, now I think that's where lobbyists, lobbyists and different conversation come into play, where you have class actions, people come together and everything. Okay, let's lobby for this thing and let's make it work. It is possible, but if that is done now, I think what they have to begin to do is ensure that if you are doing any state that is practicing Sharia law, it should be strictly on Muslims. strictly and do not use it as an
Okay.
So those are the things, those are the gray areas, because that's where the
So in
conversation
case
is.
you commit something, you come before it. It was like, okay, are you a Christian?
That's
Then
the
you say
thing.
you're a Muslim.
So if it's going to be doing anything, if you're practicing anything, it should not be anyone as aside.
But Paul, there are fanatics who might not even ask the question.
That's
They
where
just go ahead and carry out the act.
Okay, you see the different issues of the gruesome murders.
Yeah,
of some
that lady in
person.
Sokoto State.
Yeah, the things happening, the preacher in Abuja and some other things.
So this is what I'm
It's
saying.
so because the fanatics now it's going to also be, aside from the legal aspect and the legislature doing everything, the imams have to speak right and talk to the people, because that has to be sacrosanct. It has to say everything for the sake of humanity and sake of togetherness. Let us make it work.
All right, so that's it. We have spoken. You have spoken. And let's leave it at that. The conversation still continues. Let's see how it goes. Of course, this matter came up today. We had to quickly add it up to the main conversation, which has to do with the appointment of the retired General Christopher Musa. And it's been an interesting conversation. We do appreciate all the calls. Those who are still calling, I'm so sorry. We can't take your calls right now. Tomorrow we'll be here again with another interesting conversation. You know, as the events unfold, what we do here is to bring it hot, very hot, on Let's Talk Nigeria.
And you know, while we're on it, you always remember that every comment callers is appreciated, but also that it is independent of Golden 97.5, the Gold Standard of Radio, and we give you the opportunity to say what you're supposed to say. And your view, go to our social media and just do what you're supposed to do, but we'll do it clean and very proper.
Absolutely, I love that part. Very, very proper and clean. My name is Moya Stiving.
My name is Paul Oblomugbasa.